Hey everyone, this is Ivo once again, and I wanna welcome everyone back for another movie review. And of course, today I'm actually going to talk and discuss, and this is going to be my movie review, and that's going to be Transformers Dark of the Moon, which is the third sequel to Transformers, the popular franchise. And of course, the movie was released 28 June 2011. Was also released in IMAX and 3D. And I remember, it's actually been now 10 years. It's already was 10-year anniversary of Transformers: Dark of the Moon. And I remember that time this movie was a huge hit when it came out. I saw all the trailers, on TV when it came out, and I watched this movie the most in 2013, and the budget for this movie cost actually $195 million, while the second one was even expensive for the three. But this movie grossed worldwide $1 billion. Yes, it made $1 billion US, $123 million together. But it made $1 billion. This is even a huge success than the first two movies, because the second movie made $836 million, and I think the first one, I don't have the first. The first one did around $700 million, but that wasn't bad. But this was a huge hit, and in my opinion, this was actually the last good movie that they did. This movie ended the trilogy. Transformers Dark of the Moon, in my opinion, ended the trilogy. This is the last good movie, because I only saw the first four films. Dark, I think was not Dark. Age of Extinction was a terrible movie, which I'll get to it. And I have not seen Bumblebee. I tried to get into it. It was a so shit I couldn't. And there's gonna be this movie, I think the last night. Have not seen it. Will try to watch it again. But today I'm reviewing the Dark of the Moon, which is my second favorite, and the last good movie in Transformers was based on Harbor action figures. I think was was actually based on Hasbro action figures, which is actually a science fiction live action movie. It's a sequel to a third one, and of course directed by Michael Bay once again, and written by Ikren Kruger. For those that you don't know, Ikren Kruger, he wrote the screenplay for Scream 3 that got so much terrible reviews, it's based on Hasbro's Transformers action figures on the same name. Was a live action movie, and to me this is my second favorite, but it's not my favorite science fiction film. The first one will always be the best one, in my opinion, the superior, the best one. This movie kind of has problems, which I'll kind of get into it, because it's gonna be a long review. My problems with the film is it's way too long. The pacing's kind of slow, and there has a few humors, like Ken Jeong, this actor from The Hangover, is in this movie, and his acting was terrible. He was like making fool out of himself. I just didn't like him that much. And also we got now a prequel, which talks about the 60s, which we see, it feels like a documentary, which we see the President John F. Kennedy, and we see also Barack Obama in this movie. Why was that necessary? That was unnecessary. That kind of was, to me, pointless, and kind of drags and lags the movie. I don't know about Apollo 11, about astronauts, about the first astronaut being on a moon. We get it. We already know that. Why was this movie telling the history? It just make no sense, and I just didn't like it. That's kind of was the problem. The pacing was also kind of way too long. It's kind of slow paced. The movie's way too long. That's one of the reasons why it's not my favorite in Transformers or my favorite science fiction film. The first one is because it's shorter and fast-paced. And yeah, but those are actually kind of my problems. The rest, I enjoy this film. This is to me improvement over the second movie, much better than the second movie because I enjoy this movie more. But now I'll just show you the Steelbook. Yes, I have Transformers Dark of the Moon on Steelbook. As you can open, I have Blu-ray and the DVD together. You can see Blu-ray plus DVD, which is the back, which is see Bumblebee, and there's also Sam and Carly Spencer. That will be Optimus Prime, and those are the soldiers, the warriors. Here's the Decepticon, and this is Bumblebee, been chased. And I'll show you. So I do have the Blu-ray and the DVD together. I'll show you the Blu-ray. And of course the DVD. Now I don't have that much Steelbooks. This one and Mad Max Fury Road, which I'll review when I'm done with Transformers. These are the only Steelbooks that I own. This one and Mad Max Fury Road, which I had to buy it. Was actually 3D, but I had to buy it. So now this is how they look inside. This is Optimus Prime, and this companion is Sentinel Prime, his leader, and turned traitor to an enemy. And yeah, this is how it looks like, in it. There's the city, probably Chicago, the last, which was set this movie. It kind of cost me a lot, this movie kind of cost me a lot money. I barely got it in the first two. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of Transformers, and I only enjoyed the first three movies. And the reason why I was actually doing Transformers reviews is because I wanted to show you everyone. I wanted to show that the Steelbooks. I actually did it because of Steelbook. I wanted to show you my two Steelbooks. So yeah, that's how the Steelbook looks like. If I put this out, I actually have this. I have actually the back. I'm not taking it off because I have the description. But yeah, this is how it looks like. That's Optimus Prime, Bumblebee. To me, my favorite. Actually my second favorite. The first one's still my favorite. But I love this movie, and like I said, I love this movie to death. I love the first one more, but I love this movie also to death. But my biggest problem with this film is that it's way too long. It's 2 hours, 27 minutes without end of credits. That's one of my biggest problems with the film. It's just, I don't know why we even got the, why we even had to have how you call it, the prelude, and talking about history with John F. Kennedy, the first alien, the first alien, they actually counted the first alien, Sentinel Prime. And yeah, this kind of was confusing in my opinion, and I just didn't like it. It feels like documentary. Why was Barack Obama even in this movie at all? He shouldn't be in this movie at all. Fuck him. I don't like the president. I hate the guy. I always hated him. So why he was even had to be in this movie is beyond me. We don't have to see, because Sam gets now a medal because he's a hero. He's a hero in this movie, not in the second movie, Now, now the cast, Shia LaBeouf once again returns, and this time no Megan Fox. Megan Fox was actually fired, And I actually did a research, which I found an article and I wrote down. So Megan Fox was actually replaced with Rosie Whitley Huntington, because, which I'll get into the reasons, that's her. She replaced love interest to Sam. And I didn't want to, in the second review in my video, I did not want to disrespect the actress, because I respect and I like the actress Megan Fox. But I think that Rosie Huntington Whitley, she did much better job than Megan Fox, and that's just my opinion. I think that Rosie Huntington Whitley did much better job than Megan Fox in the second movie. But yeah, so Megan Fox made a comment in Wonderland magazine in 2009, because the second movie was released 24 June 2009, but I think she did somewhere in September, she did a comment, comment a Wonderland magazine in 2009 about Michael Bay. And because they asked her how it was working with Michael Bay, and she told in the magazine, a really kind of outburst comments. So I'm gonna read what she said. By the way, that's saying her, not me. It's not me. So she told to magazine, he's like Napoleon, and he wants to create this insane, infamous madman reputation. He wants to be like Hitler on his sets, and he is. He's a nightmare to work for. But when you got him away from a set and he's not in directions mode, kind of really enjoy his personality, because he's so awkward, so hopelessly awkward. He has no social skills at all, and it's endearing to watch him. That's what she said, that's what Megan Fox said about Michael Bay when the magazine asked her how it was working with him. Because people, I understand now why people hate Michael Bay, because his movies are way too long. But now it's every Hollywood movie is over 2 hours, way too long. Why does it have to be every movie now over 2 longs? 2 hours long, this is almost 2.5 hours, without end credits. That's one of the reasons why the first is my favorite. So Michael Bay, wasn't offended. He said, he wasn't offended. He actually felt like amused what she said. But he prepared, Megan Fox once again for the role of Michaela Baines. But when producers, Michael Bay did not fire Megan Fox. Producers, they heard about this film. Producers, Steven Spielberg was executive producer, and when he heard about Hitler, because she was comparing everyone to Nazis, so he said, the Hitler thing, fire her right now. That's what Steven Spielberg said, Steven Spielberg and the studio fired her. So they actually found new actresses. Blake Lively was also considered for the role of Carrie Spencer, but she dropped out because of commitment to Gossip Girl at the time. So Rosie Huntington Whitley was chosen of all the actresses, to get this role. She's actually she replaced Rosie Huntington Whitley. She's actually a British actress and a model, and also she's Jason Statham's fiance. Jason Statham's an action star that I reviewed The Expendables with him. She was replaced. But Michael Bay, did work with Megan Fox on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot, which sucked that movie. But he wasn't directing, someone else was directing that movie. Rosie Huntington Whitley, in my opinion, did a good job. She was in Mad Max Fury Road, which I also do have the steelbook. She played Splendid. I think was the breeder of that guy. I forgot the bad guy's name already. But yeah, but she was only in 2 movies and she did a fantastic job. But yeah. So yeah, the movie was released in 3D and IMAX, already mentioned, in theaters, June 28, 2011, which was 10 years ago, which was awesome. Was in Dolby Surround 7.1 sound, was second highest grossing film back in 2011. This was the highest grossing movie that time. It made a worldwide billion. But yeah. Now the plot. Now the plot. After I think was the events of the second movie in pyramids. The war between Decepticons, the war between Decepticons and Autobots keep continue. In meantime, Sam wants to find a new job, and he has a new girlfriend, Carly Spencer, played by Lucy Huntington-Whiteley. And he's looking for a job. I don't know what the hell happened to their house, but he's now in minivan. His parents, and his car doesn't work because Bumblebee is actually now he's actually now on a mission. So he has a new car. It's a piece of shit car. So he goes to find a job. He tries to find a job. And I think he finds a job in a company. I'm not sure what kind of company was. But he finds there a job. In the meantime, while Autobots and Optimus Prime, they fight Decepticons, they actually found the original Autobot, because astronauts find it, made an encounter back in the 60s, Russian astronauts, and that was Sentinel Prime. And so they go and find Sentinel Prime. They retrieve Sentinel Prime, and they go and they find Sentinel Prime to find out what's going on. They actually found out that he has 5 pillars, for the bridge, which is Decepticons wants to have a bridge. They actually want, the design those pillar a bridge which they're gonna build and bring Cybertron on their planet, and they're gonna kill everyone. They actually going to perish everyone. The whole planet is in danger once again. While in the company that Sam works, he's been approached by Ken Jeon, Jerry Wang from Big Trouble in Little China. Why? He's been approached by Jerry Wang, and he gives a manifesto and tells him that the world is once again in danger. And Jerry Wang gets killed, by a Decepticon who can transform himself in the TV, and he gets once again killed. So because the Decepticon attacks Sam once again, Sam now he goes, he runs now, he goes, he tries to talk to William Lennox. I forgot to mention also John Malkovich was the one, who plays Bruce Razors. He's actually Sam's employment who gives him a job, because he got recommendation, because the jobs that he tried to get him, he couldn't, and so he goes to William Lennox at first, with Carly. He goes to William Lennox, and he barely gets in. Because Charlotte Meering, now the director of National Intelligence. She's actually now the head now for the nest. She's the head, and she doesn't respect Sam at all, especially after what he did for what he actually did for his country. He saved he say the word and he say the country, the second movie. And yeah, because he wants to find out, he wants to stop this war. He goes to he now goes and calls the expert Robo Warrior, Agent Simmons, Sector 7. He goes to him, while Agent Simmons, he wrote now a book, and he has he has now Dutch, his advisor, played by Alan Alan Turk, I'm just calling him Turk, by Dutch, and he decides to help Sam once again. He returns out of retirement to help him out. So they go, they actually go to this club, in this Russian club, to interrogate 2 Russian astronauts, because they know the secrets, what's going on, the US government is covering up. So they go to this club, and they get surrounded. This bitch, this bitch goes and holds the gun right in Agent Simmons' face, and there's an old woman with a shotgun, with 2 barrels, holding shotgun. And that's like a pure badass he is, grabs the woman, punches her, like a badass he is, punches her, grabs a shotgun, and this guy, this bus boy, the colleague grabs the gun, and I love it, when Simon says, Hund, he keeps talking to Dutch, coming down. I love that scene, but then they actually spoke about the secrets, about why did the original, the original Autobot Sentinel Prime. And of course they go, they awaken Sentinel Prime, they go and they awaken Sentinel Prime, but what they don't know is that Sentinel Prime becomes a traitor. And there's actually a scene when they try to warn Ness that it's actually the Decepticons' trap. It was a goddamn trap, the Decepticons' trap. And you have, this scene where the cars, the SOV cars are actually chasing, the Autobots are chasing Sam and Bumblebee. This scene, is a fantastic explosion scene. Ironhide is such a badass. And they go and fight, they actually, chasing them. And there's a scene in which Agent Simmons been thrown out of the car. He lands on a wheelchair. There's also a scene when Sam, in CGI mode, he flies. He goes and flies, and Bumblebee catches him. But when they go to the nest, we find out that that Sentinel Prime made a deal with Megatron, and he goes and kills Ironhide. Ironhide in this movie gets killed. He kills him, and Ironhide says, "What have you done?" And he goes and kills him. I love that scene. Because Sam works, Carly breaks up with him. She gives him a rabbit's food, said he got a food. And because, the parents, when they find out what happened, between Michaela dumped Sam, she break up this time with Sam, and they actually go now back, they, and Judy, Julie White, and Kevin Dino returns. They only have a cameo scene, and Judy told him, if she's the one, they'll go after her. Go after her. So we also meet Dylan Gould. I forgot to mention Patrick Dempsey is this movie. He's a toy collector, a wealthy, a millionaire, a toy collector, and Rosie's actually. What's already the name? Carly's employer, and he was the one that recommended Sam, to get to that they give him a job in his company. So while of course Carly is heading out with Dylan, Sam, he goes to Carly, to talk to her. But what he didn't know is that actually another betrayal. Dylan Gold is working for the Decepticons. He wants to rule this world, and he made a deal just like Sentinel Prime. There's two traders in this movie. That's why it's more interesting. The plot is more interesting. Dylan Gold works with the Megatron, and he kidnaps Carly, and Sam gets a robotic watch, which they can hear everything if he does. So he has no choice. He has to work for the Decepticons, or his girlfriend Carly gets killed. So he does, and now because the Sentinel Prime betrays them, they all now forced to leave. Now they're actually now actually Autobots, Transformers Autobots are actually now banished from this planet. Because the Decepticons and Dylan demands that they're actually banished, So they go now in the first rockets, and they're launching the space, They go any planet just not here. So they leave the planet, but the rockets, they get blown up by the Decepticons. In the last setting is actually in Chicago. And also, Tyrese Gibson from the Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, and the franchise, he's actually this movie once again as Robert Epps. He left the Air Force. He's now more advisor for NSA advisor, for astronauts. He said he has a dream job, and they kick it out, those robots. And now the Decepticons are killing people. There's a lot of explosions. There is destroying. You see how great director Michael Bay shot. You have a great shot, great direction, and the explosions, which is awesome. There's a lot of explosions in it, and people keep getting killed. And of course, when the watch goes off with Sam decided he's gonna save Carly, and Robert Epps calls the enforcers his men, which they actually go into judge, but their all men are actually now being the whole town, the whole city, Chicago, is a battlefield, which they're gonna barely get in. I don't remember all the action scenes, but there's an action scene which they actually when Sam goes and he goes and he saves he actually goes and saves Carly. Saves Carly, but he gets, he actually goes actually, I forgot to mention, Autobots are never on the ship, they never were in the space. They only showed so that everyone can see what the Decepticons gonna do. They're never gonna leave them alone. There's never gonna be peace, That's why they actually left them, so that humans can see what the Decepticons can do, because they are destroying everyone. They are killing people, like Sentinel Prime says. Humans can serve us or perish, so Optimus Prime is still alive, so they go, in a war. And I love when I think that Bumblebee or one of the Autobots flies Sam, in the building, and he goes there, and I love it. Dylan says, "You have balls," when he goes in the gun. But Dylan gets his gun, and I love that. And I forgot, he works with Megatron, and he holds Carly hostage, and he talks to Megatron and says, "Yes, Excellency," such a dick. I love that, he goes and fights once again. Sam has been showed how to the building, but he comes back, and I love in the building, when the building is like falling down, great CGI, and Robert Epps and Carly and Sam and his soldiers, they actually slide down. I love that scene. They both slide down. I love that scene. It was, if that would be for real, everyone would be dead. They blow the windows, just like in Jackie Chan, they blow the windows, fall down the building. I love that scene. Excellent shot. The fight sequences. And also this movie, Sam is more a badass than he was in the first movie. he's actually more a badass. Like he was in the first movie. But Sam kills Starscream in this movie. I thought you're working for us, boy. He goes and shoots, and Starscream goes and shoots Sam, and Sam runs, I thought you were working for us, boy. I was laughing my ass off, And Sam has this grappling glove on his wrist, from Goo Wheeljack. He got this this grappling glove, his wrist. And he goes and fires, and he goes and he fires, he fires that wire right in the Starscream's eye, which is awesome. And he goes and blinds him, and then he goes, Sam jumps on his shoulder and stabs a boomstick in his other eye, blinding him. And that time, William Lennox, shows up and jumps on him, and they both get pulled off. And William Lennox saves Sam, because Ironhide is actually, he's actually dragging them along. And William Lennox cuts the line, so the boomstick explodes, blows Starscream to pieces. I love that scene. He's a badass, The fight scene between Sam and Dylan was awesome. Patrick Dempsey was awesome in this movie. They fight each other. It says you choose a side, you choose wrong. And Sam grabs that. He grabs that long stick. And said, I choose my own side. It goes and punches him, and it goes and electrocutes him like a badass he is. Sam, this movie was a more badass than the first movie. And also, I love the scene with Carly. She goes and talks to Megatron. I wrote down the lines. Was it worth it? And she goes to Megatron, and he said, and she asked him, was it worth it? And he said, obviously. Or you want Sentinel, bring him back. No. All you wanted was bringing Sentinel back. Now clearly he has the power. It is actually almost tragic, You dare lecture me, slave? Your Decepticons finally conquered the planet, but it won't be you. But it won't be the leading you. It will be me. It will always be me. You're nothing but Sentinels, bitch. I was laughing my ass off. I love that scene there. I love that scene there. And when Optimus Prime and Megatron, they go fight on the end, the final battle. I love when Megatron goes, because Carly, she goes and motivates Megatron to help them out to fight this battle against Sentinel. And I love when Megatron goes like a badass he is and goes, this is my planet, kicks the guy's ass, and at the end fights out with Optimus Prime. But Optimus Prime kills Megatron in this movie, and of course Optimus Prime, he kills Megatron in this movie, and then he goes and finally kills with one arm. He goes and kills Sentinel Prime, and he kills him, and then the final battle, of course, ends, and Sam saves everyone, Bumblebee, he saves Scarlet, Bumblebee shows them rings, to a wedding, I hate that stupid song for the wedding, but I love when Sam says, wait later, you're kind of way too fast, but yeah, the movie of course ends then. The action sequences, the explosions are tossed, like a falling building. They like the cast are sliding down. The soldiers, Sam, Carly, Epps, and his other soldiers sliding down. Love that scene. The explosions are awesome. The fight scene between Sam and Dylan was a badass. Sam, played by Shia LaBeouf, he was a badass in this movie. Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, she did a real better job than Megan Fox, because the second movie, Megan Fox, thank God, doesn't speak too much, thank God. She was much better in this movie. Yeah, I love this movie. Now, I forgot to mention the first review in my first video, but Steve Jablonsky did a great job. Music score for all three Transformers. I love the soundtracks, like his score, the battle, and it's our fight. I love that the music score. I love the songs like Goo Goo Dolls, All That You Are, which is awesome. Goo Goo Dolls, All That You Are, I think was the song at the end of the credits. I love Goo Goo Dolls, All That You Are. I also love the expanded score, Steve Jablonsky, Chernobyl. We have the U2 North Star, which is after the prologue, the title Transformers Dark of the Moon ends. We hear U2 North Star song, with Sam waking up, we see his new girlfriend Carly. Love that scene. But yeah, I love that actually scene. Linkin Park Iridescent, I think it was Linkin Park Iridescent. And also was Monster End of Credits by Paramore. Now, I watched the DVD version, and the picture quality, on Blu-ray is much better because the effects are better. DVD, I don't recommend it because it's standard version. It's like when I watched for, when I went and I watched for this guy, when I watched for Megatron, effects, it wasn't so clearly because the Blu-ray has much better, Now, what I don't understand is actually this Blu-ray disc and DVD where are actual special features. And when I researched, I found out if you want another disc with special features, you have to buy 3D to get through disc, 3 disc, so only you get a special features, because it's kind of disappointing why this steelbook has no special features. There's only movie, the DVD version and the Blu-ray version. You can see clearly no special features, which I don't get it. The best action movie ever, I don't agree with this title. But definitely back in 2011, definitely one of the best movies from 2011. I watched this movie the most in 2013, and like I said, my problem is it's way too long. It's kind of way too long. The movie is kind of way too long. But the song I do enjoy. I found out on YouTube the Monster by Paramore was cut out. After the Linkin Park Iridescent, which I love that. But Good As All That You Are, by Iridescent, Linkin Park Iridescent, was actually cut out, which I enjoy. Linkin Park Iridescent. Yeah, John Malkovich is in this movie. I don't think he hasn't that much scenes in it. Ken Jeong can kiss my ass. He was terrible, Jerry Wang. Hated his humor. I hated how he was talking Sam. That was stupid. Patrick Dempsey did a great job as Dylan Gold. He was also in Scream 3 with Adrian Kruger, which is fantastic. He was awesome as a bad guy, working with Decepticons, choose his side. Shia LaBeouf was a badass as Sam. He did a fantastic job as Sam Witwicky in this movie. This is the final time we see Sam Witwicky. This is the final movie with Shia LaBeouf. Rosie Hunter with Scarlett Spencer. The love interest to Sam was awesome. I love both of them. She was awesome. Frances McDormand, she was Charlotte Mering, the director of National Intelligence, the head of Nest. She did fine. I love that scene. I forgot to mention, but John Turturro as Agent Seymour Simmons is back. This movie. He did a fantastic job. He's great. He wasn't like badass. He was in the first 2 movies, but he was still great. And he says, well, Charlotte Mering, and he goes, and she goes, oh, you survived, you waited to survive, Washington, I survived, Agent, I survived, my broken heart, I survive, I will survive. He goes, your booty looks like excelente. And she turns around and says, if you mention everyone that happened in the night in Guantico, I'll cut your heart out. You already did. I love that scene. That's a badass scene. I'll cut your heart out. You already did. In the end, Jonathan Turturro grabs her and kisses her, and she goes to arrest him. I want to go put a law in prison. Give it to me. Jonathan Turturro is awesome. He's fantastic in this movie. Love his humor. He's awesome as Agent Simmons. The final fight scene between Sam and Dylan, like I said, I love it. He goes, clocks it down in the pillar and electrocutes him. That's awesome. That scene was fantastic. Electrocuting him was awesome. The Decepticons in this movie are killed. Laser Break, the Driller, Starscream, and Shockwave. They're actually killed in this movie. And a lot of machine guns and rocket launchers were used in this movie. There actually were a lot of machine guns and like one of the soldiers, one of the black soldiers using a rocket launcher, he fires in the Decepticons, machine guns, were used in this movie. The explosions, it was awesome. And I remember I saw a clip a long time ago, back in 2014, in which Michael Bay, signed those all trilogy he signed, with his autograph and said that he worked hard. And I still don't get it, why the hate for him, but okay, people decide to hate him. But this would be the last good movie. The last good movie. Yes, it was worth it. I paid 40, almost 50 euros for this movie, but it was worth it. Transformers Dark of the Moon is definitely my second favorite of the franchise. Then is Revenge of the Fallen, and then it ends. This movie ends, This movie finally ends the trilogy. There was no need for more shitty sequels, but yes, I'm proud to collect this movie, that I have this movie on Steelbook with the DVD. Optimus Prime and Bumblebee in the back. Inside is like I said, with 2 discs, Optimus Prime, and we also do have Sentinel. You can see it because I put the disc in it. So that you can see better. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. So yeah. But I enjoyed this film. I really love this film. But the first one I enjoy more. It's shorter. And it's kind of fast-paced with action. This movie kind of is slow. Until the third act, the final battle was awesome. The CGI, which I forgot to mention, they actually did a great job. The CGI effects made by Industrial Light and Magic, ILM animators, they did a good job. They actually even Camaro, the Camaro for Bumblebee was more colored, better than the first movie. It was more colored. Better than the first movie. The Autobots did a good job. It was really good. So yeah, they actually, animators, and Astral Light, Magic, the effects for Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Megatron. I forgot to mention Megatron. Megatron, this movie is a badass. Hugo Weaving returns as Megatron. He's a badass. He gets killed. I love his lines. Obviously this is my planet, and I love that. Or they're like elephants. They're saying, "All hail Megatron." Elephants are speaking. I love that. But yes, Megatron was a badass in this movie. He gets killed. Peter Cullen returns once again as Optimus Prime, the voice. And I also do enjoy, Tyrese Gibson as Robert Epps. He's badass. He helps Sam. he grabs the guys like Rambo. Grabs the guys and goes in the war. I love the battle in the Chicago. The set in Chicago was awesome. I mean, this movie was just awesome. I only wish it would be that longer. I only wish that the open scene would be cut out, with President John F. Kennedy and Barack Obama. That is not needed. Ken Jeong could have been cut out. Jerry Wang could have been cut out. Those kind of few problems, But the third act really saves the film, which is awesome. And like I said, I thought that Michael Bay did a good job directing this movie. The cast was awesome. Michael Bay did a good job directing this film. But yeah, the cast, those soldiers did a fantastic job. The Megatron was awesome. Bumblebee, the scene, the action sequence worked. They were really great. Yeah, so the songs, were awesome. And this movie made $1 million worldwide, which was 3D, which was released in IMAX in 3D. I have not seen this movie in movie theater, but I watched this movie back in 2013 the most, more than even the first one. Still, the first is still my favorite. This will be my second favorite. A really good sequel, worthy sequel, improvement over the second one, Revenge of the Fallen. But yeah, that's actually is, my movie review on Transformers Dark of the Moon, the third movie, the final, the last good movie. To me, there are only 3 movies that are really worth watching and not anymore. The third one will be Revenge of the Fallen. I enjoy, even the people hate it, I still enjoy. But this is actually my review on Transformers Dark of the Moon. Sorry it took that long, but thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care, and I'll see you next in the fourth review in Transformers. I think was Age of Extinction. So I'll see you soon. I'm out. Peace.